Alright, it's time to learn how to use GitHub. You have Google Drive to thank for that, since they are removing their ability to host websites starting on August 31st of 2016. Thanks, Google. Buttheads. Anyway, yeah, we got to use GitHub to do this because it is the best out there, and it's what almost every employer will ask to see your GitHub account if you do apply for a job, because it's what professional programmers use to collaborate and to, at the very least, test code across the world. So it really is a great site. That's the upside. The downside is they have like fancy vocabulary for every little thing the site does. It's so ridiculous. It makes it really hard to learn, and the documentation is terrible. So here's how to host sites on GitHub in just under 5 minutes. First thing you have to do is create an account. I'm assuming you have one already. And then you go to New Repository, which is a very fancy word for folder. Don't ask me why they do that. Give it a name. Here it is, test site 2. You can give it a description. It's another test site. You have two options, public or private. You have to pay for private, so public is your only option. And then last, check this box that says initialize this repository with a README. Hit create. And look at that, that was easy. Alright, the next thing you have to do is, you'll see this thing, this drop down that says branches. A branch is like another version of your site, so you can imagine it sort of like these tabs, right? If I open a new tab, that's like a new branch. So if I have my website loaded in two different tabs, that's like a branch, except I can work on tab number 1, and it won't change what's displayed in tab 2 unless I tell it to. That's the concept of branching. Now to host websites on GitHub, you have to make a special branch called gh-pages. And if you hit create branch, gh-pages, it will actually create that branch. Now if you want in your repository settings, what you could do is you could make that the default branch in the branches tab. You can go to the drop down and hit gh branches. This is up to you. You can do this if you want. I don't know what the best way to do it yet is because I haven't used this site that much, but I'll do it for now. Anyway, okay, so how do you upload your files? Well, this is really easy. You click Upload Files, and then you go to a folder you want to upload, just like you've been doing for the whole site. Let's pretend I want to upload my little, I don't know, let's try this site. I'm just going to drag the whole folder. I could say add files via, let's see, this is the commit changes. Commit is like an upload, and it means that you're committing that these files are now the ones in the repository. Such ridiculous vocabulary, but just write a little note to yourself so you don't get confused. It's good practice to date each note, even though they do that for you, but I would just say, you know, March 20th, initial upload of project files, no description needed because my title isn't something ridiculous. And you can commit it directly to the gh-pages branch. So I'm going to commit. Now it's processing. That's what this text here that says processing your file. Oh, it's gone. I can't even make a joke. All right, and it's gone. Now, unfortunately, if you do this, what's going to happen is all of your files will be located in a root folder, and I just made the mistake of doing that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this again. Yeah. So I mistakenly dragged this entire root folder. Let's drag the actual individual files themselves, just like you would in Google Drive. My fault. March 20th, initial upload, take 2. All right, let's try that again. Because it does need an index.html file to load from first. All right, good, it's got one. All right, once you have your index file, remember the index is the file that it will load first whenever you navigate to the URL of a site. You go to your username.github whoopsie, mrmchem.github.io/the repository name, in this case test site 2. And it will load and host your entire site for free. Yay! That's so cool. Now, don't tell any of your friends about this because they won't have any idea what you're talking about. But it's pretty sweet. So there you go. That's how you host a website on GitHub. I'm sure everyone will become way more popular now that you know how to do this. I know I sure am. Just kidding. Have a good one.